Hello, hello. Hello. Goodness. So grateful. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I'm so grateful that you're here and that you're coming online to join in this amazing, auspicious gathering of light, precursor. The precursor of us gathering as beautiful light beings. And I am so grateful to be of service today and to share what wants to come through to bless and expand each of you in accessing the gift that you are. Because you're amazing. You are so incredible. And it's time for you to move into that realization so that you can be having that experience of yourself in truth. In this realm, we get to birth it here. And the truth is, you're already a beautiful gift, whether you're aware of it or not. It's already happening. The contribution that you are is already astronomical in what it is contributing to all that is in this beautiful time of transformation, in ascension, into the remembering of ourselves as free, as abundant, as loved. And so just take a deep breath as we allow everyone to get settled in here. And the light has already begun to transmit itself. So as you're willing, you can simply open to receiving through your higher self, through your masters and angels, what is being offered for you here. And we invite you to connect to not only the value of you, but these gifts that are being offered. Like, I'm being shown precious gifts being offered to you, like, so that you can increase what you're willing to receive. So it's this idea of, yes, it's light being given, it's remembering being given, it's attunement being given as you're willing to say yes to it. But it's also all the gifts that you've been waiting for, like for you. Like, pretend it's your birthday, pretend that it's Christmas, and just receive. They'd like permission to support you. These beautiful council of light beings would like permission to support you in increasing your receptivity. Because the thing is, for us to get comfortable in the identity of ourself as valuable, as a gift to life, it's like part of us needs to have that outward mirror confirmation of, you're amazing, you're beautiful, we love you, you're special, you're glorious, and giving you these gifts. And when we say special, we're not speaking of you being more or less special than any other being. It's all actually equal in value. Each life is supporting itself and each other perfectly. And it's meant to be this beautiful unity consciousness collaboration. But for many of us, what we've done is we've taken ourselves out of that and put everyone else above, and created the illusion of separation and the idea that we have to sacrifice or not have in order for others to have. And with that, over time and conditioning, became a belief that somehow we weren't worthy, or we were separate from the deserving of, the worthiness of. So we'd like permission to begin to address that, because part of you fully accessing the gift of you is the realization that it's available, that you are, that of course you're a gift, of course you're amazing, of course you're beautiful, of course you're perfect, of course you're whole. That's how the divine sees you. So are you willing to welcome that in for you? and that perception in for you. And as you say yes, the light codes and the attunements are occurring to support you energetically in reacclimating and calibrating your field, your awareness of you, into alignment with the truth, with how the divine sees you, because it's already true. So can we remind you what it feels like to perceive yourself as having value, as having immense worth? There's no question of your worth. And do we have permission to support you in releasing the conditioning that you're not worthy, that you're not enough, that there's certain things that you have to portray or achieve in order to be worthy? In anywhere where that is, it's like I'm being shown the outward cookie cutters of what that looks like and what we've been taught that is. And in the media kind of broadcast, it's to be of value, to be worthy. This is what it has to look like. This is what you have to look like, not only in a certain way with personality, but physically and spiritually and all of these things, right? That it has to be this way. There's a cookie cutter for it. And what if your value is in the unique divine blueprint of you, and no one else has it but you? Take a deep breath. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I am the key to everything. You are the only aspect of life that carries what you carry. Take a deep breath into that. You are the only aspect of life that carries what you carry. You are an aspect of God and whole unto yourself. It's almost like I'm shown the idea of a fractal. For those of you who know what that is, it's like the replica of here's what it is when we zoom out. And if we zoom into a little aspect of it, it's actually the same. It has all these codes and things that are the same, they're saying the same essence. But what you specifically carry to express is unique to you as an aspect of God, your divine blueprint. For this phase of our journey, it's like you're the carrier of these codes, of this vibration, of this remembering for the whole to remember itself as the divine in unity consciousness. But it can't happen without you. So connect to the value of that and invite the awareness of not only the divine seeing that as valued and acknowledging that as valuable, but life itself here on earth, the animal kingdom, the earth itself, all of the aspects of life that reside here in our awareness, connect to how much they value you being present here, carrying what you carry. And again, you're it, whether you're aware of it or not. So it's already happening. The gift that you are is already happening. The blessing that you are is already happening multidimensionally. And it's being benefited from multidimensionally. What wishes to birth itself here at this time is for you to participate on a conscious level with the fact that you're this immense blessing and this immense contribution. And what it does is it lets it into this realm So yes, it's happening multidimensionally, but we're going to invite it in here fully in this realm. And we're going to enjoy actually being this blessing instead of it just happening outside of our awareness. Because as we do that, everything elevates. As you acknowledge the contribution that you really are, everything around you is elevated, and you give other aspects of life permission to do the same, to step into their worth, the knowing of who they are, and in their joy. And we can call it awakening. We can call it ascension. It's really you unwrapping the gift of you and accessing it fully. So are you willing, outside of the intellect, to just begin inviting that to occur for you? To invite the experience of yourself as the gift that you are to begin coming in, coming through. And are you willing to release any old conditioning, any of the old agreements that were made out of fear, that somehow you couldn't access you, that you had to pretend to not be a blessing, you had to pretend to not be worthy and to hide, and all of the conditioning. And I'm really being shown a belief that we took on as a member of humanity, that it's not safe for us to shine our light, that it's not safe for us to live as our divine self, that we have to pretend in order to be safe. So are you willing to release that now, and any agreements related to that for reinterpretation, so that you can unkink the hoses in your system to allow the light that you are to flow more freely and uninhibited, where it's no longer feeling like it has to hold back or be diminished in order for others to feel safe or comfortable, or in order for us to feel safe or comfortable. So just take some deep breaths as we invite that to begin to shift. Here we go. And just allowing yourself to connect to the truth that the blessing that you are is already happening. It's not based on what you do or don't do the way we think it is, linearly. The gift that you are is already established. And you accessing it is simply you recognizing it as already true, as already created. And take a deep breath. The you that you are as an aspect of God is. It's perfect, it's whole, it's eternal, it's magnificent, it's the most brilliant light and love you can imagine, and more. It can never be diminished. And so everywhere we thought, and we're holding on to any memories in our system where we thought that we had to diminish our light, or that our light could be diminished, or that it was diminished, are you willing to release the attachments to those stories and allow them to be reinterpreted in truth? Because what if you have simply been having an experience of being separate from this gift of you, separate from this light that you are, but you actually never were. It actually never went anywhere. We were just asleep, focused upon things that weren't true, and having an experience of separation. but we never really were separate. We never really lost the gift that we are. And we never really lost heaven and access to heaven. So are you willing to release any of the guilt and fear that you're holding on an unconscious level, where you thought you were responsible for diminishing you or screwing yourself up or whatever that is? And it could have showed up in this lifetime as experiences where you feel like you messed up, but it's actually a reflection of old energy where we thought we messed up our divine self. We thought we lost it. We thought we separated from it. So can we address it at that level? And are you willing to forgive and release yourself from everything you think you did, either in this lifetime or past, that it's like the idea of I'm a sinner, the idea of I'm guilty. Are you willing to forgive and release yourself from all of that without having to understand it or figure it out? Because what if it was simply never true? Even if it felt very real and you had that experience, what if it was the reflection of this guilt and this fear, and it wasn't what you thought it was? Because the guilt was never needed in the first place. We just thought it was. So are you willing to allow the reinterpretation of everywhere you made yourself wrong, and everywhere you agree with someone else's opinion that you were wrong or bad or not enough? Are you willing to now simply hand it over and say, I'm willing to release this point of view. I'm willing to release my agreements to these points of view because I choose to have who I am. And take a deep breath. I choose to access the gift of me, who I really am. And I'm being shown this brilliant star, like light. And it's so brilliant and clear and pure. And that is the essence of you. So just allow yourself to breathe into the heart. And I'm being shown the center of the heart chakra. And they're saying chamber. To enter into that sacred chamber of the heart with the intention of connecting to this brilliant light of you that still is fully established, pure, perfect, whole, eternal. And at the frequency of everything you would invite for yourself in your life. And just see this light already glowing, already lit, and meet it wherever it is, with however bright it is for you. And with your intention, you're being invited to focus upon it and invite it to amplify, to shine brighter, to illuminate even greater. So if it started as a tiny spark, see it emerging into a beautiful flame or star. And then see that star expanding even bigger, so that it's not only within your heart, but it's actually 360 degrees around you, surrounding you. They're saying filling your auric field. And they're inviting you to affirm that I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am this pure, perfect light of the divine. And we'd like permission to strengthen and expand your connection with the divine, allowing more of this light to pour through. As you are invited to continue to welcome that light to expand even more, to fill the whole room that you're in. And take a deep breath as we, with your permission, will release any fear or resistance that might be surfacing as you begin to access more of you. Will you give yourself permission to access the gift of you, to access more of you, to access the light that you are? It's important that you choose this for you. It's not going to be done for you by someone else. It's all your choice, your intention, your free will. And now, as you take some deep breaths, just allowing anything within your field to acclimate to this higher frequency, giving it permission to elevate. See this light of you expanding even more to fill the city or the town that you're in, the region where you reside. As we invite divine source to pour down through your crown the pure, perfect light of heaven, joining you in the chamber of your heart with the light that you are, the love that you are, the gift that you are. And now I'm being shown Archangel Metatron actually helping with this. And he wants permission to, I'm being shown the head and the sides and the kind of the front and back of the head and the back of the neck and this communication center. They'd like permission to open anywhere where you have basically been denying yourself access to divine guidance, heaven, higher frequencies, out of fear or out of conditioning that it was blasphemous, it wasn't possible, who do you think you are, all of those kinds of things. Can we help to release any etheric structures or blocks that have been put in place around this region or anywhere else in your system that is not allowing you full and complete access to your divine self and divine guidance? And just take some deep breaths. As we, again, bring in some energetic elixirs to support in releasing any agreements to old paradigms of fear or lack or unworthiness, any of that, because that was never true. And now I'm being shown these brilliant divine lights coming in to support you. It's like they're just shooting in to remind you of the light that you are. So will you receive that? And it feels like for some of you, it has to do with the star system that you originate from or the codes that you carry. This is helping to reactivate within you codes of awakening, codes of ascension, codes of remembering your truth and accessing the gifts that you're here to be and share on a conscious level, as well as amplifying and turning on divine capacities, intuition, all of those natural states of being that we've been taught are special for certain people. It's like we all have access to that. So they'd like permission to help support you in reaccessing those gifts and abilities. So I'm being shown a lot happening. So I'm just watching that right now. And as you continue to give your permission and allow, there's all kinds of things being transmuted and shifted and reactivated. So stay with the breath. And they'd also like permission to reinterpret for you how you perceive yourself and what's possible for you. What if it's actually possible for everything to shift into an honoring of you, where you are in complete joy and exhilaration for being, because not only do you remember who you are and why you're here, but everything just aligns with divine flow. Like I'm being shown this idea of synchronicity and divine flow being unleashed into your life. Are you willing to receive that? And is there anything within you that's not allowing it? Is there anything within you that says it's not possible for me? And if there's a story or an agreement, are you willing to let that go? Because it is possible for you. And it's a choice. It's a choice in this moment to say, I know who I am, and I know that I am worthy and deserving of divine synchronicity and flow, because it's my natural state of being. And take a deep breath. And what if you could actually enjoy being you? And maybe some of you already do, but what if we could enjoy being who we are so much because we know? It's like almost like we have a secret. It's like, I know that no one else carries what I carry, and I'm amazing because I am, because I was created amazing, because it's a fact. And we could just start loving being who we are, because we're already perfect and amazing, and it doesn't have to do with anything we've been taught it has to do with. Are you willing to live there, where you're just completely in love with who you are? And take a deep breath. So we bring in that wave to support what's happening everywhere else, because part of what was happening in some of these kink poses is we just weren't loving ourselves fully, or we thought there was something wrong with us. So again, just be willing in this moment. This is like the day of reckoning, where we can just start filling up the truck with everything that we don't want, and it's going to drive away. It's this idea of, I say this 1-800-GOT-JUNK truck, right? And we're just filling it up with everything that we're done with. It's like, well, this story served me up to this point in my journey, but I don't need it anymore. I'm no longer choosing to not love myself for whatever reason I decided that would be a thing. Are you willing to let go of all the meaning you've given the stories of why, where we decided we weren't perfect, where we weren't lovable, where we weren't amazing and totally miraculous creation? Oh my gosh, why did we ever think that? Are you willing to let all of that go? All right, take a deep breath. Yeah, let's just let it go. We don't have to understand it or analyze it or figure out why we chose it in the first place. We just have to choose again now, because we're that powerful. Because whoever we decide we are is what we're going to experience ourselves as. So why wouldn't we choose amazing and miraculous, and especially because it's true? Well, that makes it easier, because then it has the support of divine will behind it. And we no longer have to feel like we're struggling trying to prove something else right. Take a deep breath. because you are amazing, because you are a blessing, because you are a miracle, because the gift of you is irreplaceable. And what would it feel like? I wonder what it would feel like if I lived my daily life knowing how amazing I am. What would that feel like? And just breathe that in. Breathe in those frequencies. Allow them to be reactivated within your field if you're willing. I wonder what it would feel like if I lived my daily life knowing how amazing I really am. Not from a place of someone else being less amazing. It's not that. It's not comparison. Can we show you how to not compare yourself to others and be the gift that you are, that's fully whole and complete unto itself, but it's part of the whole amazing, like I'm being shown a Christmas tree, right? And each part is beautiful in and of itself, but together it's just an amazing glory to behold. And a lot of times, and they're showing me the idea of, they use the analogy of a symphony playing and you being a note, a melody within that symphony. And without you, that symphony wouldn't sound as beautiful. Every note is required. Every note is part of the song. And it wouldn't be what it is without you. And yet no note is more special than another note. They're all equally included in that whole beautiful expression of the symphony, of the song. Just as you are a unique expression of life, that without you, life wouldn't be the beautiful expression that it is. So receive that. Receive that. That feels so amazing. That remembering of who you are in relationship to all life. And it's not about comparing. It never was. It's about zooming out and seeing the big picture and the contribution that you are as an aspect of the one. And take a deep breath. And we do need to hear this 80,000 times, and it's perfect. Just receive what you're ready to receive right now. And now they're showing me your light expanded out to include the region where you reside. Invite it to expand to the next level, even greater, to include the whole country, the whole continent. And while we're doing this, they're showing me Archangel Metatron still working with you, but they're showing me other archangels and light beings wishing to support the connecting to and syncing up with fifth dimensional Gaia, fifth dimensional Earth. So are you willing to allow that Earth energy of the template, if you will, the grid of the crystalline Earth, to be synced up with your system through your heart? So they're showing me energy coming up through the earth from that crystalline grid into your feet, in through your legs, in through all of your chakras, up to the heart. And it's joining with the energy coming down from the higher realms, from heaven, we'll call it, from the higher realms. And some of you may feel now like you're about to blast off. But this is going to let us go even higher and even bigger. And just invite that energy of what this is, the attunement of what this is, into every cell. Invite every cell, every aspect of you, all of your bodies to the party. It's like we're all coming. We're all in this together. all aspects of me, all my bodies. There we go. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, and keep breathing. I'm now being shown stars and lights coming up, wanting to support. So it's like just as the stars and lights appeared to come down from the higher realms to help, I'm being shown stars and lights coming up from that crystalline grid of earth, wanting to support you. And so I'm feeling some, interestingly enough, I'm feeling some resistance from some of you around that. And so they're saying it's not lower energies, because the mind wants to think of it as higher and lower. We're talking about connecting to the divine in all life. It's the divine aspects that are embodied here in some way, whether it be the plants and the animals or elementals or even the elements of earth like water, air, fire. They're showing that's what wants to come in to support you. So are you willing to allow those divine lights from this realm to support you as well? Because that's going to actually help you ground here and experience here the gift that you are, so that you can actually begin to have that experience of yourself while you appear to be in the physical realm. So they'd like permission to kind of clean the slate with your relationship with the physical realm. So we recognize that in some aspects it hasn't been easy. And so along the way, we have a tendency to want to blame this lifetime or being here in the physical for the bad experiences that we've had, for what we haven't enjoyed, they're saying. And so are you willing to forgive this realm for everything you thought it was responsible for with regard to your experiences, including where you made it responsible for your experience of separation? Are you willing to release all the judgment and the meaning you've given it? Because what if it's just serving as the mirror right now for you to remember who you are? And that doesn't mean that what you're seeing is who you are. What it means is it's supporting us on this journey of remembering. And it's either going to reflect the miracle that we are, the beauty, the gift that we are, and an honoring of who we are because we've chosen to align with that truth. Or it's going to reflect a decision we made to agree with something else. And either way, it's supporting us. So can we anchor you and support you in that relationship with the physical realm so that you're no longer in resistance to it or in judgment of it as wrong or bad? Because when we're in resistance to it, as I don't want it to be here, or it shouldn't be here, or if I was awake, it wouldn't be here, or whatever that is, whatever relationship the mind has created with it, our resistance to being here and to experiencing the physical will actually show up as resistance. We're kinking hoses, they're saying. When we do that, we're actually creating the illusion of separation. Anytime that we judge something as this shouldn't be here, we're actually separating ourselves from who we are and then calling forth that experience. So take a deep breath. All right. So what if you could actually enjoy being you and your experience and your journey here in this realm, like in the physical? What if it could actually be joyful? What if it could actually be fun? And that's not to say we're still not going to be waking up, because there's part of us that feel like, well, it has to be heavy or it has to be hard because I'm waking up and that has to be heavy and that has to be hard. What if you're ready to graduate to the phase of your journey home where you get to experience yourself as you, while you tie up some loose ends of where you're still buying into separation on some level, but it doesn't have to be hard and arduous. You could actually have the support of divine synchronicity, divine timing, divine love, and honoring of you because you've aligned with that possibility. So can we show you that it's a possibility and a choice for you to elevate now to a trajectory out of struggle? So for some of you, they're saying, ask how struggle serves you. For some of you, you created a relationship with struggle or an identification with struggle where you either think it's necessary or you think it means something about you. It's almost like the idea of I'm getting somewhere because it's hard. The no pain, no gain kind of mentality where it has to be a struggle in order for me to be making progress. Or some other identification with struggle where it's somehow virtuous, or it's like you're in God's favor if you're struggling because God sees you working hard to wake up. Whatever that is, are you willing to just become aware of where you've created a relationship or an identification with struggle that is simply tethering you to the experience of it instead of elevating to the path beyond it, into grace and ease, in your awakening, in your transformation? Okay, take a deep breath. So some people are saying that you're having trouble following. It's cutting in and out. I'm not experiencing that, but I do know, just know that you're receiving. It could be energetic. And the recording will be available that you can re-listen. So as much as possible, just allow yourself to receive. And we're just going to state, it's like anywhere where we're tied into patterns of struggle that are out picturing as this not flowing, we're going to release that. Right? Whatever that symbolizes within us, within any of us, within our unconscious mind, any fear, any, like I'm being shown the idea of putting the brakes on. It's like we're going too fast. This isn't safe. We can't be who we are because we're not going to live very long if we do. Because, we had a lot of past lives where accessing the gift of us didn't end well. And they're wanting to communicate to those aspects of ourself that this time is different. It really is the time that we've prepared for. And all of those lessons and all those experiences that we had in other lifetimes where we were killed or exiled or tortured or punished for being who we are and for accessing who we are, prepared us for this time where we knew we would be successful and we knew the light would be reestablished within all life. And all of those fear-based reflections could be released because they were all really just reflections of fear, and on some level, our own fear of awakening. So are you willing to allow it to be addressed at that level? All right, take a deep breath. So I'm being shown the energies that are basically merging within you, and then the light that you are projecting out into encompassing the continent that you reside or you're currently present upon. They're inviting now for you to invite these lights that are coming in to support you in expanding as far as you can go now. Take a deep breath. There's so many lights coming in to support, and I'm just being shown again more lights coming in to just support you in going even higher, even greater, even more amplified. And now I'm being shown these lights coming in that are supporting you in allowing the gift that you are to be fully acknowledged within you and within how you perceive yourself. Will you give yourself permission to fully express the gift that you are in this realm at this time? Will you give yourself permission to align with all that's available to you to be and to have and to express in this realm at this time? And I'm being shown all of these gifts again for you because you're amazing, because you're a contribution, because all that you are is complete worth and deserving of these gifts. So receive them. And now these lights, these beautiful beings, and in some level they represent divine aspects of you that wish to support you, are wanting to support you now in allowing this pure, perfect essence of you, the divine light, the divine gift that you are, to flow through all areas of your life. So just see it flowing through your relationships. Just give it access to flow into all your relationships. And including your relationship with yourself. Including your relationship with life. With God's source, love. Including your relationship with money. With any financial construct or appearance or entity. With your relationship with your body, with your physical self. With your relationship with nature, with the animal kingdom, with the earth, with your relationship with your divine expression, expressing your gifts, your career, your work play, whatever that is. And any other relationships that you choose. It could be your relationship with time, with any other currency-based expression, your home, your neighborhood. And just invite everything to elevate in the recognition of the gift that you are, as you reside in the willingness not only to access the gift of you, but to acknowledge the gift of you. Because it is astronomical. Of course it is, because infinite divine source created you as you are for a reason. And the codes that you carry, the gifts that you are, no one else is or could be. And you're here to be you fully. It's almost like the mind thinks that's too easy. Well, what do you mean I just be me and that's it? Yeah, that seems too effortless to be something, but it's something, and it's something miraculous, and it's something amazing. So as we journey together in this way, in accessing and eventually fully unwrapping the gift of you, we invite you to continue to welcome this transformation of you into your illumined self. And we're going to be sharing another activation next month. We'll be releasing that date very soon to support in us preparing for and welcoming our journey together in Sedona in the Gathering of Light this October. And we are going to be fully unwrapping the gift of who we are in that 7-day immersion in such a way that our life will never be the same, in a good way. Because we are calling in our highest expression, and we're going to make ourselves available for whatever the transformation that needs to take place for that light infusion that gathering of light is intended to be. And of course, you're all welcome to join us, but we know that in your heart, you know whether or not it's for you to experience. And I will share that on past immersions, just miraculous things occur for people because we have that much time together where everything builds upon itself in those 7 days. And there's this culmination that occurs, this momentum, if you will, of elevation that allows for an accelerated experience into greater and greater levels of light, greater and greater levels of truth. And it's really a remembering that occurs within you, for you, by you, in collaboration with this beautiful Council of Light. And so we want to share that this recording will be available to re-listen to, and the registration for the 7-day immersion is available. It is open, and there's a special rate for the next 30 days. So if you decide to join us on September 22nd, that rate will shift up. And the immersion itself is going to be in Sedona, Arizona, October 11th through the 17th. And just feel into the energy of it. If nothing else, just take a moment and feel into the amazing elevation that it represents. And we know that for some of you, it's challenging with whatever current circumstances you have in your life, it can be challenging to attend in person. There is a virtual option available. So if that's something you feel guided to explore, you can connect with us, or you can find information about that at embracingtheinfinite.com. We would like to share, though, that attending in person does have more gifts to unwrap, if you will, because there's just something amazing that occurs when we come together in this way and we gather in person. That the in-person experience will be of greater benefit, but the recordings and the virtual attendance will carry the codes and the activations that are going to be made available. So feel into what resonates most for you. And we encourage you to choose from a place of knowing in your heart what is the option you're being called to, rather than trying to decide through logic or the intellect, because logic and the intellect will always want to play it safe, so to speak. Let's keep everything as much as possible the same, and maybe we'll change this much, maybe we'll welcome this much. Well, what you're being invited to welcome is a whole new experience of yourself as the gift that you are, and completely unwrap and unravel everywhere where you've denied yourself the gift of you. So feel into it for you, and we encourage you to choose from that place of knowing if it's yours to be and to experience and to have. And it's completely available if that's what you're guided. We also want to share that it's going to be an intimate experience. I feel like there's only going to be maybe 8 or 10 people. And so much is shifting right now that could shift. But I do feel like it's going to be fairly intimate. So if that helps you make a decision, know that that is probably what's happening energetically. That's what I'm connecting to. And so that may help you choose as well what is most honoring for you and whether or not it may resonate. The other question that came up was about how many hikes are we going to do, or how much do I have to be in really good physical shape? And the hikes that we're going to do aren't arduous or difficult, and they're optional even on top of that. So there's places where we can go and visit the vortexes where there's actually a place for you to sit right there. You don't have to venture on the hike, and you're still going to be in the energy. As well as if you do decide to go part way and then want to stop, there's benches along the way usually, or you can turn and go back. You don't have to do the full hike. But we don't do crazy hike. This isn't, you have to be physically fit and whatever to be able to go on the excursion aspects. But we will be visiting the vortexes, probably 4 of them. And I always feel into the energy closer to the time, and then we'll put out a schedule. And for those of you who are signed up, I see a couple of you here, we're actually going to be announcing the venue officially in about a week. We're finalizing all of that. But that's the other reason why I'm feeling it's going to be fairly intimate, because of the venue that was shown would be honoring for this group. So if you're feeling that it's for you, and we just encourage you to follow your yes. So take a deep breath, and we're going to just help to integrate the integration process here of everything that was shared. And we're inviting you to focus in the heart and just connect to the light that you are, in a place of it already is, it's already here, I already am. And we'd like to bring in now the acknowledgement and the knowing that the divine sees you. You are already seen, heard, and acknowledged as the gift that you are. That's already happening. Will you receive that the acknowledgement is already happening, that your expression is already being seen and heard and witnessed and celebrated? So that we can bring in anywhere where we're protecting ourselves from judgment or from rejection, because it's like you're already being fully accepted. You're already being fully loved as you are. So there's no reason for you to protect yourself from rejection. And can we address it at the level of the fear that is really the core of it? Are you willing to release what you think it means to be rejected? And anywhere you thought it meant something about the gift that you are. Because What if it was just someone else's inability to acknowledge or receive your brilliance? What if it didn't have anything to do with your value or your light? And take a deep breath. So for all the times that others felt unworthy of your love and your light and weren't capable of receiving it because they wouldn't let it in, and you perceived that as there's something being wrong with you or your light, are you willing to allow that to be reinterpreted? And everywhere you made yourself responsible for someone else feeling bad because they were coming from a place of comparison instead of recognizing their own uniqueness, their own value, their own worth within themselves. Are you willing to release where you're making yourself responsible for how others receive or don't receive your light? Can we also address anywhere you're dimming your light in order to make others more comfortable? Right? Because they're used to you the way you've been. So it may shake up some things if you start shining as you. But what if it's supposed to shake things up? What if that's why you're here? Is to shine so brightly that all the darkness dissipates. Not because the darkness is bad or it needs to change, but because the light is. Can we show you how to be the light that you are in that confidence that is beyond resistance, beyond trying to prove something else wrong? And take a deep breath. So we anchor you now within your knowing of I am that I am. And we invite you, and we hope that you will accept our invitation to join us in Sedona. And it's just time for you to remember how precious you are and to allow life to begin reflecting the honoring of you. So thank you for this time together, and thank you for being willing to receive and allow yourself to integrate fully. Give yourself the space to be with this energy, to be with you, and send yourself some love and receive the love that is being shared. Much love to each of you, and I hope to connect with you all very soon. Blessings.